We now turn our attention to online selling platforms. We've already spoken about Vinted, and today we're going to talk about Vestiaire Collective. Vestiaire Collective tends to focus on the more expensive brands, so your Louis Vuittons, your Hermes, your Prada, high-end fashion, but they also include the mainstream names. They've got all the names, and they're more focused on the designer names rather than other platforms where you can sell everything. So that's meant to be their specialism, and I'd say it's a pretty good platform. You get a variety of things. They seem to show you items from other countries in Europe, so you don't just get what's in the UK. You can filter and search for things just in the UK, but you'll also see items from Spain, Greece or France or wherever, Germany. So that gives it a good variety. From what I've seen though, when you're shopping, the prices seem a little bit on the high side. They are a platform that prides itself on its quality and high-end names, so maybe they're focusing on getting sellers as much as they can on the platform, but that's one thing I noticed. But it's a bit strange in a way, because when you sell on there, they suggest prices to you, put your price in, and then they suggest a price to you, and it's always lower than what you put, in my experience, and sometimes it's severely lower. So I would say take their suggested prices with a pinch of salt, have a look around and see what things go for, and make your own judgment. Maybe consider what you've paid for it and what condition it's in, if it has any deficiencies, and then come up with a fair number yourself. But maybe be a bit sceptical about their suggested price, otherwise you may be putting it on for a bit lower than you might want to. They pay for delivery. If you sell anything, they seem to pay for delivery. They do it through Every, so take it to an Every parcel shop and Every deliver it. Yeah, you can sell things on there. It's a useful platform. It's another string to your bow. I'd say sometimes Every take a little bit of a while to deliver, and Vestiaire have a policy of you having to wait 72 hours after the customer's received it before releasing payment. So particularly where it'll usually say Every is going to take 4 days, but in my experience it takes more. It might go on occasion on 4 days or within 4 days, but generally it's more. And then you've got that 72 hours, so you can be looking at 7 to 10 days before receiving payment. So bear that in mind. That varies. That's different from other platforms. Vinted is a bit like that. I think they give the buyer 2 days once they receive the item to say everything is okay and then release the funds, but I think Vestiaire take a bit longer, so that's something to bear in mind. But it's easy to upload. You put in the photos, you put in the details, description, you say what the condition is used, new with tag or never worn, put the condition in, and put your photos in. They tend to take one of your photos and then they put a white background behind it, and they use that as your first picture. That's their style. You tend to do the listing, and then in a couple of hours, I think it can take up to 2 days, but in my experience it's way quicker than that. They'll I think they do online checks to check the item's authentic, and then maybe some AI online checks. I think that's what it is. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that, but they do checks, and then it comes live on the site once they've done their checks and they're satisfied with its authenticity. They have a service for buyers. I think you can pay them £15 and the item will be sent to them and they'll authenticate it. So that's a service for buyers. If you want to check what you're buying is authentic, you can do that. But in my experience, if they've online checks have deemed it's authentic and the buyer hasn't chosen to have the item physically sent to Vestiaire for authentication, generally the item's sent directly from the seller to the buyer. The buyer receives it, and there they've got that 72 hours to decide whether everything's okay, and then the funds are released to the seller. And that's generally how it works. But yeah, we've got a broad variety of things. Generally higher quality names. It does have a nice feel to it, the way it's presented, the graphics and the logo and everything. It does have that feel of a higher end online platform, so that's nice. Generally it's okay. I'm not sure, in my opinion, it doesn't feel like you get the same sort of exposure as you would on an eBay or a Vinted. Feels like on those platforms, it feels like more people are looking And when you look at the views that you're getting, it does record the viewings that you've had in the last week. And I don't think they're as high as on some other platforms. But it's definitely worth listing on there, particularly if you've got something rare or you've got something that's particularly valuable, or it's from a very high-end name. You know, if you're selling some of your stuff from your wardrobe and it's higher-end stuff that you bought from designer names, it's definitely worth putting it on there. You do get offers. It's up to you. You have to consider what you're going to get. And Vestiaire are pretty clear about what you're going to get, because obviously they charge a fee. So it will have the figure you're asking for, and then it'll say, this is the figure you're asking, and this is what you're getting, minus their fees. So I can't remember exactly how much the fees is. It's somewhere between 10 and 15%. But they make it very clear. When you're listing it, it will tell you you're putting it for example, £50, and you get £37 or whatever. They make it clear to you, so you know where you stand. People do make you offers, and it's just like any other platform. Sometimes they're good offers, sometimes they're insulting offers. It's up to you to deal with it how you see fit, whether you're going to make a counter offer. And again, when you make the counter offer, Vestiaire says this is what you'll receive, this is what you're offering the buyer, this is what they'll pay, this is what you'll receive. So it's all very clear, it's all very transparent, and you can decide what you want to take. So that's very positive. So yeah, that's my general review of Vestiaire Collection. It's a reasonable platform. It's worth a go if you want to sell something. It's worth a look if you want to buy. They have a wide range of products. And the customer service is generally good on the live chat. From the experience I've had, I haven't been on it that long, you know, a month or two I've been on it. And I've had a few experiences with the customer services, and it's generally been pretty good on the live chat. They do their customer service on the live chat. It certainly seems superior to that of Vinted, but you know, you'll have to make your own judgment on that, but that's my view. So definitely worth a look. Give any comments of your experiences on Vestiaire Collective, and if you have any advice regarding the platform, and take care, and I'll see you next time.